Hi, and welcome to the music theory for ukulele. This is the tutorial on small number chords. However, we're not going to be learning small number chords. That was just to locate this tutorial. We're actually going to be learning about minor chords here in a sec. First of all, at the top, I wrote A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, which is the basic understanding on how we notate music. This is also the key of A, but more so to remind you that's the notation of how music is notated. If you remember on the top of the music code for transposing sheet, it went A, B, C, D, E, F, G. After G, you repeat the A. Same thing, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. After G, you repeat the A. But basically from A to A, you have a alphabetical system of writing the lettering for music. Now, we're going to jump to the key of C now, okay? So I wrote it right under there so you can see how it relates to that, okay? And I have my lettering here. It goes from C to C, and it's following C, D, E, F, G. And always after G, we're going to write the A because that's just the way it is. And then we continue our alphabetical system of writing. After A is going to be B and C. And we always end with what we started with. We started with a C, we'll end with a C. Okay, at this time, if you need to take some notes, please pause the tutorial, grab a pen and paper, take some notes. We'll start here in a second. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on the key of C. I'm going to erase this top section right here so it doesn't get confusing. Okay, so just concentrate on this key of C diagram here, and then we'll talk about that. If you recall, in the previous tutorial, we said that each letter had a number. Okay, so you can see that that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but this is more like a 1, okay? So 8 or 1. We prefer to call it a 1 rather than 8. Okay, so we talked about each one stands for a number, so the 1 right here would be a 1 chord, remember that? And then the 4 right there, 4, F, would be your 4 chord, and we talked about writing it in Roman numerals. Okay, and the 5 right here, G, it's the 5 chord, and we said that most of the time, not every single time, but most of the time, that 5 chord is probably going to be a 5/7. Either way, it's okay, turning this into a 5/7. Once again, either way, it's okay. So in other words, being a 5/7 chord, turning the G into a G7, or just a regular 5 chord, keeping that G regular. Either way, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. It's just how you want to remember it. I mean, how you want to do it in the song, or how the song is being done. But for the sake of the level that you're at right now, we're going to call it the 5/7 chord, just so that we can remember that and kind of keep that in our minds. Now, so we covered all of this so far, okay? Now we're going to cover the minor chords. And to understand the minor chords, it's basically the chords that are in between that we did not count yet. Oh, by the way, when this C comes back to a C, it really is a 1 chord again, okay? Because in the key of C, every C will always be the 1 chord, okay? So this is when you're playing a C chord, the 1 chord, when you come back to it, it'll always be the 1 chord, okay? It would have no other name, okay? Basically. Okay, now we're going to talk about the chords in between. So we're going to talk about the 2 needs a name, and the 3 that needs a name, and the 6 needs a name. Okay, now we're not going to talk about the 7 chord because the 7 chord The 7 chord is actually a diminished chord, okay? It's a diminished chord. And we're not going to really learn it at this time. On average, you're probably not going to use it a whole lot unless you get into more complicated pieces of music. But if you do, it's located on your chord chart. You can always look it up. Okay, all your diminished chords are on your chord chart, and that's where it's located. It's the number 7 chord. Okay? What we are going to talk about today is only your 2 chord, 3 chord, and your 6 chord. Okay, that's all we're going to talk about. So they need names, and they're going to be, well, like the tutorial said, small number chords. Small number chords. So this will be a 2. See the 2 there? So it's a small Roman numeral. This is another small Roman numeral. Okay? Then we're going to jump over here. That's a 6. That's a small 6. Okay? Now, whenever you have a small Roman numeral, okay, that means it is a minor chord. Minor chord. So this will now be a minor chord. This will now be D minor. And this will be E minor. And this will be A minor. And if you recall, all of these chords are chords that you've already learned. Okay? So you know all these chords. And so once again, in this key right here, that's actually a D minor, that's an E minor, and that's an A minor. Okay? So that's the chords in the key of C. So we'll just put that over for now. Minor, minor, minor. Okay? So that's your D minor, that's your E minor, and that's your A minor. And why is that? It's because these chords in between are smaller Roman numerals, and every time we have a small Roman numeral, they are minor chords. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put these up here so I can have a little more space. Okay, so you can see that, right? Exactly what I did over here, I put up here. D minor, small number 2 chord. E minor, small number 3 chord. A minor, small number 6 chord. And I'm going to erase this. Okay, we're going to do one more. And we're going to do let's see here. We are going to do key F. Key of F. So I'm going to do an F here. F, G. What comes after G? Always an A, because that's just the way it is. F, G, A, B, C, D, E, and F. Okay, so let's locate our chords. Okay, so where's our 1 chord? 1 chord is always at the beginning, always the first chord. So there we go. That's our 1 chord right there. Where's our 4 chord? Our 4 chord. 4th letter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 4 chord. It's going to be right over here. By the way, I need to let you guys know that in the key of F, the B will always be a B flat. I'll go ahead and do that. So the chord that you're going to play is a B flat chord. Your 5 chord, where's that? Right here. 5. And for now we're going to call it a 5-7. That turns into a C7. Okay? So if we're going to do the same thing with the smaller chords, the minor chords, we got to go in between. So here, the G, that's a small chord. A, that's a small chord. And the 6, the D, that's a small chord. So let's check it out. Small chord, and small chord. Okay, so whenever you have a small Roman numeral, that means it is a minor chord. Okay, so this is now a G minor. This becomes an A minor. Well, it's always been an A minor, actually, and in the key of F. And this is a D minor. Okay. So you see it's the same thing, right? G minor, because it's a small minor chord. Now we'll go ahead and put a 2 up here, small 2, so we can see it better. Small 3 up here, and a small 6 up here. And it's the same thing that we got down here, you see that? Small 2, small 2. Small 3, small 3. Small 6, Roman numeral 6. And these are minor chords. So if they're minor chords, I'm going to write in a little M to represent minor. Minor. I'm going to go ahead and erase this for now. Okay. So it's not to confuse you. So anytime you have a key, like the key of C, so when you have the key of C, these are your chords. You will have a major chord, a minor chord, small, another minor chord, small, Roman number 3. You will have your floor chord, which is a major chord, major F. And then you have a 5-7 chord, which is a G7. And the number 6 chord is your A minor in the key of C. Key of C. Okay? Now for your key of F. Key of F. Anytime you have a key, it's going to follow the same system. Okay? One chord is always going to be a major. The first chord, the 1 chord, is F major, the big chord, F. Okay? Your next chord, number 2 chord is always a small chord. It's a minor chord, small Roman numeral 2, G minor. Next chord is a 3 chord. It's a small Roman numeral 3. That's a minor, A minor. 4 chord, because it's number 4 in the system. It's a major chord. It's a B flat. It's not a minor. It's a big chord, major chord, B flat. Your 5-7 turns that into a C7 if it's a 7 chord, and that's a 7 chord. So this has got to be a 7, so that's a C7. And then your 6th chord is a small minor chord. That's a D minor chord. Okay. I didn't put this over here, but I'll put it for you. It's we're back to the 1. Okay. And we're not worried about the 7 for now. We'll probably learn that maybe at a later time. Okay, so we'll stop here for now. Back up the tutorial. Give it a listen to several times. It might be confusing to some. It might be easier to others. But the point is that you want to understand this. We'll be talking about some more information about this, trying to put it together. But it is very important to try to understand the basic idea behind this, because from here we're going to talk about how songs are constructed. We're going to talk about, if you're interested in writing your own songs. We're going to talk about, if you're trying to figure out a song, how to find the chords that's being used in the song. All these things, but you need to understand the body of how the structure works. So just kind of back of the tutorial, see it again, and then once you're ready, comfortable, got a fairly good understanding, it doesn't have to be perfect, move on to the next lesson, and well, we'll see you there.